Yo, what's up everybody? Kevin here. Welcome to the Snowboard Pro Camp live chat. I'll be on here for the next hour or so with you guys to answer all of your snowboard questions. So definitely hit me up with anything that's on your mind. Here in Whistler, we've actually had some really good snow falling lately. So last night we got about 10 centimeters. It's continuing to snow throughout the day, and we're supposed to get like another 25 centimeters overnight. So we're definitely entering into some of the winter storms of the season. So it's really promising and really stoked to see that. I was up riding on the Libtech Orchid today and just had a really good time just riding through powder. And yeah, it was great. I hope wherever you guys are that you're getting some good snow as well. And I hope you have some snowboard plans. I hope you guys are getting in some snowboard trips or have something coming up over the Christmas holidays here. So it's good. Winter is in full effect. The storms are coming, and yeah, stoked to be on here with you guys for the next hour. So definitely hit me up with any questions that are on your mind, whether it's beginner questions, gear questions, progressing in your riding, if you have questions for doing snowboard tricks, just anything at all. Advice for traveling for snowboarding. I've had the chance to do quite a lot of traveling over the years. I taught snowboarding here in Whistler for almost 10 years. So lots of stuff to share with you guys if there's anything that's on your mind, guys. So let's get into it. Big thank you to everyone for tuning in, and let's see who's on the chat here. So we've got, what's up, Shred1904 is on here. Joanna Richards wants to know what's my favorite resort in Colorado. It's a tough one. I would say between Breckenridge and Keystone. Those are my two favorites. Really good spots. Connor Fowler wants to know advice for being able to control your speed. Yeah, I think as you start to progress, you'll become better and better at controlling your speed, and it's all about using those edges and thinking about when you're going to control speed. It's when you're a beginner, you start to slow down and spray snow down the hill with your edge, and that's the way you slow yourself down. And then as you become a more advanced or intermediate rider, you can start to spray snow out the side of each turn. So every time you get onto a new edge, think about spraying some snow out to the side, and that's what's going to control your speed and just keep you in control in general. All right, what's up everybody? We got the first super chat from MAR Fishing. Thanks for the support, and just says, what's up? Not much, man. Just on here talking to you guys. And yeah, had a good few laps up on Blackcomb Mountain today. Managed to find some powder snow. The snow is falling just a ton outside, and it's filling in everything. On Whistler, there's all these like shrubs and bushes and treetops, even on the runs. So as the snow just continues to fall, all that stuff is getting buried. And even like small like creeks and ditches throughout the mountain that are normally, like, you can see them in the summer, they're all starting to fill up and get covered over. So it's good. Yeah, everything is good out here in Whistler, man. Zachary Fine wants to know, is Mammoth better than Whistler? I don't think so. I think Whistler is better. I feel like Whistler is bigger. There's two mountains. You have the peak to peak connecting them. Mammoth is really amazing though. I can't say whether the park here in Whistler is better than Mammoth. Mammoth may have a better terrain park, but in terms of the riding in general, I would say Whistler's better. Just from the few days, I didn't get to spend a ton of days in Mammoth, about a week, but from seeing them both, I think Whistler's just bigger. It's just a bigger place. And Bad Riders with the super chat. Thanks so much, Adam, for the super chat all the way from Australia. Says, Merry Christmas, Kev and Jill. Awesome. Stoked to see her take over the channel. Should definitely happen more. What's the what's the go with the gyro helmet? Yeah, I picked up a new helmet, Adam. And also, yeah, thanks for checking out that video with Jill. It was fun to get up snowboarding with Jill. It was her first day on the mountain this year. And yeah, she took over. I thought it'd be a fun idea if she kind of did her own vlog and took over the channel. And yeah, it's kind of like, you know, giving different perspectives on the mountain for different kinds of riders, and Jill's got her own take on snowboarding, so it was really fun to get her as the driver behind the vlog. And so then the gyro helmet, I picked that up because I've been hearing a lot about MIPS, so the multiple impact protection system that Gyro and other brands have going on, and the Sandbox helmet doesn't have that. And so yeah, I thought I would just try and step up the safety. So apparently what is with the MIPS is there's like two kind of shells, and when you take an impact, the shells can kind of like slide, and there's like this sliding effect that can take some of the impact away from your head. And it apparently is very subtle, just millimeters, but apparently it works really well with protecting your head. So you have the protection in terms of like a direct impact, but then you also have the slide effect, which helps to take the impact away too. So, and I thought, I've been wearing Sandbox helmets for so long, I'm kind of like said everything I need to say about those helmets. They're great, but yeah, it'd be good to try out a different helmet like the Gyro Ledge. And so far I'm liking it. Yeah, it's really comfortable. Awesome. Sweet, guys. Thanks for the super chats. We also have, oh man, so many questions coming through. Thank you, guys. Ryan says, what's a good beginner board for all mountain? Nice. Good question, man. There's lots of them out there. I think in general, a good beginner board is just something that's at a lower price point that has some rocker towards the tips. Something like, maybe check out a board like the LibTech Cold Brew. I've heard that that one's a good sort of beginner all mountain style board. I'm a big fan of Magnet Traction for beginners too, just gives you all that extra grip and hold. Another one may be something like the Arbor Westmark rocker edition. So you get the grip tech with the rocker, with the Arbor. There's these extra contact points that help to hold into the snow or firm ice, and then you also have rocker, which makes the board more forgiving. But yeah, there's lots out there. Just yeah, keep the price low on your first board. All right, so Rodney Black says, just strapped the Malavitas to the Super DOA. First vlog with the GoPro 8. Thanks for the motivation. Awesome, Rodney. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, that's a great setup you have. And the GoPro 8 is really cool. Like, I think for me, the GoPro 8 has made making the videos, filming on the mountain, everything just like so much easier. There's like less things to worry about with having a gimbal. I think it has made the gimbal obsolete now. And yeah, you just need the GoPro 8. That's like enough. And even the sound, it sounds better, it looks better. The picture the GoPro 8 produces is like brighter and more vibrant. So overall, I think it's great. And yeah, I'm stoked that you're getting out there and getting the GoPro out to do some filming. All right, so Kevin Moss says, what's up from San Francisco? What's your favorite butter? Nice, man. At the moment, my favorite butter is, I guess it's like the butter nose roll back 3. I feel like that one's a really fun one. I was doing those a lot in Colorado and then also in New Zealand. And it's kind of like a scary butter trick because you're really committing to the butter blindly. You know, that first 180 is backside and it's blind, and you're getting into the nose, which is a little bit scary, but once you kind of do it a few times and maybe you slide out doing it or not fully commit the first few, but it comes around, and when it comes around smoothly, it's really fun. So yeah, it's that like butter nose roll back 3. All right, just gonna get caught up a little bit. Tons of people on the chat. Thank you guys. 32 likes, 137 people watching. Awesome. Thank you guys. All right. Mason says, how do you prevent soreness? That's a good question, man. So I would say, like, if you feel sore after snowboarding, you have to sort of like balance out your day a little bit. Maybe, you know, these first few days back, you don't want to go full on. So maybe take it off, you know, go a little bit easier at the start so that you're not too sore to be able to ride the next day. Naturally, you're going to get a little bit sore from snowboarding, but yeah, just try to out there, take it easy. Maybe when you're home, do some stretching. You can get a massage ball. I find that if you get a massage ball and you kind of go over some of those areas that are a bit sore, that helps. Or you can get like a foam roller to like roll out your back or roll out your legs. So foam rollers really help. Yeah, and besides that, like if you get sore feet, one thing I noticed today from myself, I don't know if anyone out there gets sore feet, but I over tightened my boots. I did them too tight. They've got the boas and they also have this like strap that you can really get tight. And I was just testing them out and I over tightened them and they like started to hurt my feet. So definitely also if you're getting sore feet, just keep those boots a little bit looser. Brendan says, would you recommend being an instructor in Whistler? I've been riding for a while and I absolutely love it, and would like to make money from it. Yeah, man, Brendan, I taught snowboarding in Whistler for 9 years and I loved it. It was such a fun job. Like, I think you have to really enjoy it. Some people don't like it, but for me, I loved going to the mountain, getting a group, taking them up, whether they were beginner, intermediate, or advanced riders, and taking them all over the mountain, like teaching them tricks, teaching them how to progress, and it was so fun. Like, yeah, getting paid to be on the mountain every day and snowboard was like a dream come true for me. So I loved it. Maybe, you know, give it a shot. You can take your course and, you know, take a level 1 course. And then once you have that level 1, you can pretty much work, wherever. So yeah, apply for jobs and, yeah, just start teaching. I feel like the best way to become a good teacher is not through actually taking the courses, but is through just doing it, just teaching full time as much as you want, and that'll help to make you a good teacher. You learn how to present information to people. You learn how to like manage a group, manage different personalities, yeah, and just being a fun kind of guide and introducing people to the sport. So I think for me, it was super rewarding. I know some people, you know, they would rather just ride for themselves and work a real job or something else at night. But for me, I loved it. So yeah, give it a try. All right. Jenny wants to know, do you prefer insulated pants or just the shell? For me, I definitely just prefer the shell, because if you wear a shell, what you can do is put layers underneath. So the shell is great for keeping you dry. And then I have like these thin kind of spandexy base layer that I wear underneath, which keeps me warm. So yeah, having a shell really allows you to like stay cooler on the warmer days, and it allows you to put layers on underneath on the colder ones. Whereas if your pants are insulated, you kind of are stuck with warmer pants and there's no way to make them cooler. So definitely recommend the shells. All right, just gonna get caught up. And Jen with a super chat here, shouting out his crew, and Chuck Oakley. All right. Nice, shouting out to Oakley. Okay, cool. And Jen, thanks for the support, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I hope you guys had a great time over there in Europe. I saw a bunch of photos of you and Yannick and Rav and Bert, and I think it was Emilian Popoff and all you guys over there in Europe and the snow in the mountains looked amazing. So yeah, I hope you had a great time, man. Ken wants to know, can a park board ride POW? It can. it can, but I actually, my first like 7 or 8 years riding here in Whistler, I only had one board. I would just have my park board, and that would be the board I would take into powder. So you can definitely make it work. All you have to do is set your stance from being more twin towards the tail. I would even go all the way towards the tail, just to make the tail sink better and to help make the nose float a bit easier. But if you do get a powder specific board, that makes a huge difference, makes riding powder so much easier. Today I was up riding the Orca, and it was just way less effort and way more stable. So park boards are definitely made for the park, powder boards made for the powder. They can definitely swap between, but it's just not ideal. All right. So Bad Riders with another super chat. Oh wow, all these acronyms throwing down. Falls Creek Takeover 2020. Yeah, absolutely. We have to make a trip down to Falls Creek. That'd be super fun to get back to Australia. It's always fun vibes being an Australian man. So we'll have to get back down there next September. So Teardrop 27 says, hey, I've got a question. What would you rather choose, a one-piece snowboard suit or a jacket and pants? I would just do the separate jacket and pants. The full like snow suit all in one is really fun, and is tempting, and it would definitely keep all the snow out. But the problem is that if you're getting warm, you kind of are forced into that whole one-piece suit. So I think it's going to keep you feeling a bit warmer in general, which sometimes you want, but sometimes you don't want that. So it's a little bit less versatile that way. And also when you go inside, you're kind of stuck with the top of the jacket stuck to your pants. And when you go inside, take a break, maybe have some lunch or have a hot drink, you want to be able to be comfortable and just take that jacket right off. And having the one piece is just a bit more limiting. I feel like a one piece suit is like a fun kind of novelty thing to have, and save it for like crazy powder days where it's like bottomless powder and you can just have a one piece and just ride and not care about getting snow in anywhere. But I think the separate jacket and pants is probably the better way to go. All right, and we got Dima watching from, it says, hello, Kevin, from Russia, St. Petersburg. Very cool. Yeah, guys, with your question, also let me know where you guys are watching from. It's always amazing to see where everyone's watching from. MAR Fishing with the super chat says, how are the new boots and bindings feeling? Awesome. Yeah, great questions. So the new boots are these guys right here. So the Vans Infuse. They're really good, very comfortable. They got a little bit uncomfortable today because I did them up too tight. But it's kind of cool. You have the strap around closer to your shin, which helps to get them tight. Got the boa to really suck in the tongue, and then some laces to kind of customize the tightness there. So I'm liking the Vans Infuse. Very comfortable. Just good do everything kind of boot. And then I've got two different pairs of bindings. So these bindings over here on the headspace are the bent metal transfer bindings. They're definitely like a softer park binding, and they're fun. They're good. They're very functional, comfortable bindings. Feel responsive, the right amount of response I need for the park, but also still soft enough. And then I've got the Now Drive bindings, which are like my stiffer powder all mountain binding, and they're great. They're very responsive, more rigid, so giving me more feedback and just helping me to ride, feel more stable. The toe caps on the Now Drives are very comfortable. Like as they come down over your toe, they feel like, the analogy I always use, it feels like a catcher's mitt coming down over your toes. And the ankle strap is also just a bit 3D to your boot, so it's a comfortable ankle strap as well. So I'm really enjoying both sets of bindings, and the boots are all good too, man. Thanks for the question. Matt P wants to know, what are the first tricks to work on after feeling confident in riding? Good question, Matt. So the first bunch of tricks you want to try out, you can definitely go for, so just on the ground, getting some butters, nose press, tail press. You can try a few different butter tricks, maybe a butter nose roll. And then once you got some butter tricks down, you can start to hit some side hits, maybe get some ollies happening. The first grab that's probably the easiest is an indie grab. So just grabbing backhand in between your bindings on the toe edge. That's a pretty easy one. Or you can take that off a small jump. And for the box tricks, first just go for 50-50. So that's just riding onto the box straight and keeping your board completely flat. Then once you get to 50-50, you can try your first board slide. So twisting your board, excuse me guys, sideways. So yeah, a bunch on there. There's a video on the channel, the first 10 tricks to learn in snowboarding. Definitely check that one out. I made it quite a while ago now, six or 7 years ago. And I think maybe it was 5 years ago. But yeah, kind of go through the first 10 tricks to learn on your board. Chief DDD says, I have zero experience snowboarding, but I've been watching tons of content. It's my dream to get into and eventually be an instructor. Do you have any advice on how to start? Yeah, definitely just get out there, start riding. Maybe you could even take a lesson or two to see like how people teach, and you can kind of see the breakdown of what a lesson is like. And just progress your own riding, get to the point where you're riding at a level where you feel like you could pass the level 1 course. I know there are some resorts offer like these like prep kind of courses where you spend a couple days actually just going over some of the stuff that's going to be in the course. So yeah, you do the prep courses, maybe take a lesson to see what a lesson is all about. Maybe if you know any instructors, maybe talk to them. And yeah, just keep, get out there and get good at snowboarding. Just, you don't have to be like an amazing high level snowboarder to be an instructor. I think if you're an high intermediate rider, there's a good chance you could pass your level 1 snowboard exams. So yeah, it's not super exclusive or super elite to be an instructor. It's just a really fun and enjoyable job. So if you're into it, yeah, check it out. Start making those steps. All right. Great questions, guys. Yeah, this is rolling really, really well. You guys always hit me up with the best questions. Thank you so much. Just gonna get caught up a little bit. Lots of people tuning in. Lots of people dropping great questions. All right. So Midnight with the super chat. Thanks Midnight for the support. Says feel and performance of the 159 Orca versus 153. Yeah, I do feel a big difference. So the 153 Orca, which was actually more the size Orca for me, was just to have, they're made to be ridden smaller, was very, floated well in powder, very like quick edge to edge, very like nimble board, and lots of pop through the tail. So it was like a quick and agile powder board compared to, so that was my old one last year. So this one here is the 159, and it feels like a little bit less like nimble and quick to turn because of that extra length, but I'm gaining a lot of like stability and just control in terms of being able to ride through like choppy terrain. It feels like very stable. And a totally different feel than riding the Headspace. It's stable, it's stiffer, and I can just ride at higher speeds and feel in control. So that's the thing I feel the most about the larger Orca, is I feel more in control. The sacrifice is I won't be able to turn it quite as quick, but it's still a pretty quick turning board. And in terms of like the snap out of the tail, it still has really good pop and snap. So today I was riding through powder, and there's some like ditches in the runs where it just hasn't filled in quite enough. And so riding through the powder, and if there's a ditch coming up, I can just quickly pop off the tail get over the ditch, land, continue to ride, pick up speed, like bend my knees and absorb bumps. And actually I was filming today. I was kind of filming selfie style today. So in the next video, hopefully get it up tonight or tomorrow morning, you guys will see the Orca at work, the 159. And yeah, I've been super happy with it. It just goes through anything and you feel very stable. All right. All right, tons of great questions, guys. Zach Vanna with the super chat says, just got the Evil Orca, 4 best bindings for that. Oh, wow. Yeah, so LibTech and this like some bike company, I don't know bike companies, I think they're called Evil Bikes, did a collaboration, and so they came out with like a special edition Orca. It looks really cool. I've seen some of them on Instagram. I know actually TJ bought one as well. So binding combinations, I would say you want to get like a binding that's a bit stiffer than medium, because you want to have something that's going to back you up riding through powder, charging at high speeds. So the binding that I went with are the Now Drives, and I went with black. Black would probably go well with the style of the Evil Orca as well. And yeah, just a stiffer binding. It's going to have your back for riding at higher speeds, that stability, giving you that like quick performance. So I'd recommend that binding. You could also check out Union Atlas. So Union Atlas it's a higher level Union binding. It's got really nice ankle straps, 3D molded to your boot, and it's also a stiffer binding, so really good for that. Beyond that, I would say just those two. Those are the two I've ridden with the Orca, so I'll just stick with those. But if you see other bindings out there that are stiffer, responsive, and match that same top sheet, one more that comes to mind would be something like Burton Cartels. So if you got the black set of Burton Cartel bindings, that could work out well too. All right. So Care with the super chat, thanks so much, $4.99. Appreciate the support. Says, hi Kevin, if I want to carve a la Ryan Napton, what should I look for in a board? Nice. Good question. So Ryan Napton, so first of all, he rides Donic snowboards. So you could just go straight to the source and get a Donic board, but they're expensive and they mail them to you. So there's some drawbacks, but yeah, if you want a women's board that you can just buy from your local shop or order it online from a regular store, I think you're gonna have to get a full camber snowboard. So that full camber is gonna give you the stability and the pushback you need for making big carves, for handling the pressure that you put on the board for carving. So a full camber board. You also probably want to get a board that's a little bit wider, because when you're laying over a carve, you're getting your board almost horizontal to the snow or vertical to the snow. You want to have you don't want to have your toes or heels dragging. So having a wider board will prevent toe or heel drag. And yeah, you also want a board that has a side cut radius that is pretty big. So basically, it's like the side cut of the board is not going to be very like deep. It's going to be a fairly mellow side cut, making so that when you do put your board on an edge, it's going to want to make like a big, like long circle or big long curve, and not really short ones. So those three things, if you look for those, full camber, wide, and with a big side cut radius, that's Ryan Napton style right there. But yeah, check out Donic snowboards as well. Check out their website. There's a Ryan Napton edition board on there. All right, tons of great questions. All right, just set up, Mike says, I just set up my new 2020 Capitis Outer Space Living board. Hyped to start the season from CT. Very cool, Mike. Awesome, man. Yeah, stoked that you're getting your board set up, and hope you get to ride it soon. And an Extreme and Active Life wants to know, do you think Burton Step-Ons is worth the money? The step-on question. I love it. So with the step-ons, I think it's worth the money if the functionality of the Burton step-ons, like that being able to quickly step in and step out of them, if that efficiency is worth it to you, if that's like on the top of your list when you're looking for bindings, maybe you're someplace where you do lots of laps on the chairlift, so being able to quickly step into it is important, and maybe the performance is kind of like further down on the list. Yeah, they could definitely be worth the money, but it's up to you. It's up to you whether you really want that convenience. So compare it to some of the other binding boot combinations that you might buy, and if for the same money you want to have that convenience, then go for it. And Mark is listening from England. Very cool, Mark. What's up, man? Thank you for tuning in. Hope you get some good weather over there in England. Brandon says, I left my board in my snowboard bag after riding it a couple of weeks ago. There is rust on the edges now. Is there a way to get the rust off? Oh, sorry to hear that, man. Yeah, definitely want to take that board out and dry it out every time. I'm sure you've learned the lesson now. I would say just bring it into a tuning shop and get them to tune it up for you. Maybe they can, give the edges like a little, a proper tune up for you, sharpen or whatever you want. And that'll help to get rid of that rust. But yeah, sorry to hear that. Rust is a board's worst enemy. Jenny Wagner with the super chat. Awesome. Thank you, Jenny, for the support. Says, just got a chip in the top sheet of my brand new Capitis snowboard. Oh no. Anything I should do, or do I just leave it? Unfortunately, like with boards, they get banged up, they get dents and chips and scrapes, and all you can do really is leave it. I think as long as it's on the top sheet and it's not like crazy deep or anything, like you're not worried about water getting in there, and it's just a cosmetic thing, I would just leave it. Something I've done before in the past, like I've had a black top sheet, and I've had areas that either got chipped or some of it was coming off, and I actually like colored it in with a black marker. So if it's a area of the top sheet that's black, maybe you could color it in with a black marker. But other than that, as long as the damage isn't like going deep and it's just a cosmetic thing, you just gotta live with it. Maybe you can cover it up with a sticker. You could throw a sticker on there that you like, but yeah, unfortunately that's just part of the game in snowboarding. An Extreme and Active Life wants to know, do you like powder or park better? Love them both. I love getting into both, but if I had to choose, my ultimate park or powder day, oh man, it's tough, but I'd probably pick powder. Powder is just like such a crazy feeling when you have that deep snow. And my favorite is probably like riding at high speeds on steep powder on a sunny day. It's just the best. You just feel like you're floating. So that's got to be my choice. Dylan says, hey man, brand new snowboarder, followed you and bought all the gear and going snowboarding the first time Wednesday. So excited, getting a lesson and everything. Awesome. Any advice? Dylan, yeah, man, just go at your own pace, enjoy it. If you're getting a lesson, go along with the group and listen to the instructor, but also like go it with what you feel comfortable with too. So if you're feeling tired, you want to take a break, you can always, sit out for something, or if you're feeling really keen and you want to get pushed, just be keen and be in there, and if you start progressing faster than the rest of the group, see if you can hop into a more advanced group. So I would just recommend just doing it so that in a way that you enjoy it, and maybe just make sure that you got everything. Bring some backups too, if just in case, maybe a backup pair of mitts or something. But yeah, I think I'm sure you'll bring everything and you'll be good. But yeah, just have fun. Just as long as you're having fun, and at the end of the day, you still have like enough energy and that feeling to be able to ride the next day or the next few days, then that's the main thing. So yeah, just have fun with it, man. All right. We got Newboard on here as well. What's up, Newboard? With the super chat says, just filling up my travel bags for the 2-month trip starting tomorrow. Awesome, man. 17-hour with bus and train, plus 100 plus centimeters snow forecast for the weekend. Stoked AF. Wow, man. That's exciting, dude. I'm so stoked for you, Newboard. I hope you have a good bus and train trip. I hope, yeah, everything goes smoothly, and I hope you get there for the snow and just make the most of it. Man, going to someplace new though, just, you know, don't go too crazy. Ride within your limits and know where you're going, and just, yeah, have a good time, man. I'm stoked for you. So, Newboard, I'm following you on Instagram, so I'll stay tuned for your adventures. Miguel says, question, about to buy my first helmet. Have noticed you always wear a beanie underneath. What are the advantages to that? When I rented, I never wore one. So basically, the beanie is like keeping my ears warm. So with a lot of helmets, they come with like ear flaps, and I find that those ear flaps are actually like too thick, and it makes it hard to hear with those like ear flaps on. So for me, I take the ear flaps out. Like the gyro came with ear flaps, and so took those out right away. Even when I was trying the helmet on, took the ear flaps off, because I feel like I can't hear properly. And then putting the beanie on underneath, it allows you to like have some warmth, cover your ears, but it only covers them to keep them warm, and it doesn't muffle the sound. So, you know, everyone has their own style and way of doing it, but I feel like, you know, taking the ear covers off and just having a beanie just allows you to hear better. So that's the main reason I wear a beanie underneath the helmet. All right, so Nicole with the super chat, thanks Nicole for the support, says, hey Kevin, checking in from Iowa, brand new rider this year. What are some good bindings for a beginner setup? Awesome, yeah, Nicole, really good, great question. So the best bindings, I feel like when you're a beginner, you want to get bindings that are at the lowest price point. So if you're looking, every snowboard brand of bindings will have like their most expensive pair and their cheapest pair. And you always want to go towards those cheaper pairs, because as a beginner, you're not going to get a lot of the performance out of the like fancier pairs. So start off with something that's less expensive. Also, I think a softer binding is better for beginners. So check out a binding that's like on the softer side of the spectrum. And yeah, some of the brands of bindings that I like. Recently, I've become a huge fan of bent metal bindings, and it's actually for sort of like a beginner-friendly reason. Just the adjustments on the bent metals are very like easy to use, and just very like intuitive for new snowboarders. So if at your local shop, if you can find bent metals, I think those are pretty good, and they come at a good price point. Another company that I've been riding a lot in the last few years are Union bindings. So Union bindings, they also come in a wide range, and check out some of their more entry-level range bindings. So one that comes to mind is the Union Contacts. So yeah, you can check those out. Also, you can check out drive bindings. So sort of a softer, more inexpensive version of the Now bindings. An inexpensive version is the Now IPO. So check out those as well. But yeah, just keep it inexpensive, and yeah, I'm sure you'll get a good pair. Michael Anderson with the super chat from Canada says, thoughts on step-ons? Only joking. Tips on how to go over the crests tips on how to go over crests at speed that are unsighted on the other side. I want to go fast, but I don't want to hit anyone. Maybe I should make sure I'm on my edge. Yeah, good point. Like, it's tough because when you're riding at high speeds, you always want to know what's on the other side. So there's a few ways you can do that. One way is like sometimes you know that there could be a chance of somebody being on the other side of a crest, and you don't want to like gamble with that. You want to always like err on the side of caution. So if you don't know if there's somebody over there and there could be, then don't just fly over it. Maybe do a speed check like on the crest so that you're controlling your speed ahead of time. But sometimes you're in an area where there's nobody around, and you're just riding, and you may have like been somewhere before, so you kind of know what's on the other side of in terms of the terrain. And that's like a time where you can sort of like, you can maybe use that crest as a jump, or just go over there with speed, because nobody's around and you know what's on the other side. So that's a time where you don't always have to like stop at the beginning every single time you go over a crest. And then that's good too for people out there. If you are like looking for some place to stop, never stop below somewhere where people above can't see you. So that's a good way to protect everyone. Just never stop somewhere where people can't see you. But today for myself, like I was riding in an area where there was no people, there was like fresh snow, and I just knew the runs really well. So I knew that if I got some air coming over a crest, that there wasn't going to be anything on the other side except for a good landing. So just make sure, you know what's on the other side in terms of you've been there before, or there's nobody around. But if you think there's a chance that somebody could be on that other side, just slow yourself down, and just have that extra caution. And then on the opposite side of that, if you are somebody looking to sit down somewhere, just never sit down on the other side of a crest where people can't see you. But Michael, have fun out there. Just always err on the side of caution, man. Tom wants to know, do you have a number one tip for the first time on the mountain? Nice. Number one tip would just be to have all the safety gear. So make sure you got a helmet. Make sure, I think beginners, like wrists are a vulnerable spot. So wrist guards really help. And also impact shorts. So having shorts that protect your tailbone. Those three things, I think that would be like my number one tip. Even if you can only get one of those three, if you can only get the helmet, that'd be my number one tip. Definitely wear a helmet, because the chances of you hitting your head or somewhere else are almost 100% on your first day. You're going to hit something. So definitely get all the safety gear. And then just one more tip too is to progress at a rate that you're comfortable with. Like, don't feel like you have to like speed through everything and do it as fast as possible. Just enjoy the beginner learning process. It's going to take a day or two to get through some of those beginner stages. So just enjoy it, and that'll just keep you coming back to ride more. All right, we got a super chat from Oka Zario. Thanks so much for the support. Says, got a new board. Worried it'll get damaged by flights. There's a hard case, but it's like 2 kilograms heavier than soft bags. Ideas on making sure my boards don't get damaged. Maybe pool float wrapped on the edges. So you can definitely, like for me, I've always just put my boards into my soft like travel bags with wheels, and it's been fine. I feel like you probably don't want to spend the extra money and have the extra weight of a hard case. I think hard case, that's just overdoing it. So just go with the regular case. You can get, like, I know sometimes when you buy a new snowboard, it comes with like a wrapper around it, and sometimes they even have like a zipper, so you can take it in and out of this plastic zippered wrapper. That's one thing you can do. Or if you have some clothes that are, like you're bringing, and they're not, you're not too worried about ruining them or whatever, you can wrap your, put some clothes around your board kind of to protect it, almost like padding throughout. I'll do that sometimes if I'm bringing like a bunch of extra socks or like t-shirts or pants. So I'll just kind of like pad it throughout the bag. But overall, like, your board should hold up, because if you think about it, when you're out there snowboarding, you're riding at high speeds across all kinds of terrain, and sometimes you're riding over roots and rocks and obstacles, jumping on rails and boxes. So the board is pretty tough and durable. So I wouldn't worry about it getting damaged too much during the flight. Another idea is you could get like a thin piece of cardboard to put like on the bottom of your board bag, just as an extra little bit of defense. So, cut a piece of cardboard into a long rectangle, and that could help you as well. I actually did that a few times. I had some like leftover cardboard that I would put in between the layers of my boards just to protect them. But now I just throw them all in there, and they seem to be fine. So. But yeah, give those a try. Clothes, cardboard, plastic, or just toss it in. You can also get bubble wrap. Like I know that recently I moved, and you can get like a roll of bubble wrap for $5. So yeah, maybe check that out too. All right. MAR Fishing with another super chat says, did you know what the graphic on the headspace means? No, I don't know what that graphic means. What's the meaning behind it? I thought it was just like cool art. It's just kind of like funky art by Forrest Bailey. He's the pro rider behind that art. I don't know. I don't think it has a meaning, unless you know. If you know Mar Fishing, let me know, but I'm not sure what it means. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. 171 people, 63 likes. Awesome, guys. Stoked to be on here with you guys. Bad Riders with Super Chat says, wait, TJ bought the Orca? What? Yeah, he did, but he doesn't have it. It's, I think it's it's somewhere. He ordered it somewhere, and I don't know when he's getting it, but he bought an Orca. He's just, he's keeping it a secret. He keeps a lot of secrets, and that's one of them. He bought an Orca. Robert says, about time we get some snow. Absolutely. Yeah, it's here. It's fallen. All right. So NGen with the super chat says, Bad Riders. Now did he? I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about the Orca still? He did. If that's what you're talking about, he did buy the Orca. Will Coleman says, Ayo, I'm in Whistler, want to ride tomorrow. Yeah, if anyone wants to ride with Will Coleman, yeah, it's always fun to meet up with friends and ride. So yeah, hope you meet up. Tomorrow's going to be like one of the best powder days of December. So yeah, there's rules. No friends on a powder day, but definitely on the other side of that, always ride with friends on a powder day too, because you don't want to be solo missioning out in the powder. But yeah, man, have fun out there. I'll be up riding Blackcomb. So if you see me or TJ up there, come say hello. All right. Harry he says, hey Kevin, I recommend to make a video about how to pair bindings with a snowboard. Great idea, man. I think I did make a video about that maybe 2 months ago. So if you go back about 2 months, I talk about different bindings and how they match up with different boards. So yeah, maybe check that video out. That's a really good idea though. It's super important to be able to line up your bindings, proper binding with the proper board for sure. And Michael Wilder says, love the channel. I have learned so much heading to Mont Tremblant for the first time this winter. Have you ever been? Yeah, I have. One of my very first snowboard trip was actually to Mont Tremblant when I was a kid. So I've had some really great memories of that place. Yeah, it's probably one of the best resorts sort of in Eastern Canada. So yeah, have a good time, man. I hope you get some snow or sun or just have a great time. All right, John Mintel says, when trying to go fast and straight, should you keep your board completely flat or always stay on an edge? You can go flat, but you also I would say I mostly stay on a bit of an edge. So even when I'm pointing it, going straight and fast, I'm on a little bit of an edge, because by using that edge, that's going to help you to stay just more in control. With your board completely flat, that's when you can kind of start to slide a little bit, or just not have the same control. So if you're going, riding with speed, like straight, a bit of toe pressure. I find that toes are actually give you a little bit more control. So a little bit of toe pressure helps you to stay in control. That's why when you're on those like long, narrow, like cat tracks, those roads of snow that are flat and narrow and long, you always still want to keep your board on a little bit of an edge, because that's just how you keep your control, by being on edge. So yeah, definitely speed and edges go together. Elijah wants to know big jump tips. Big jump tips. Definitely first, like, progress up to it. Small, medium, large. So make sure you master each jump along the way. Watch other people drop into a large jump so that you can see the speed, or you can even follow like a friend into it to get the speed right. And what else? Make sure you're comfortable riding at high speeds, because going into a big jump, you're actually going to be landing with even more speed than you go into it with. So make sure you're comfortable with riding at high speed, and pick a good day to hit a big jump. Like, don't do it on a day where the snow is sketchy or icy. Make sure you're hitting bigger jumps on a day where the snow is good as well. So just remember all those tips. All right, so Scott Armfield with the super chat says, what's up from North Carolina? Love the channel. My question, what's your take on the Arbor drift board with Burton Freestyle Reflex bindings? That's like a good sort of intro setup, beginner intermediate setup. I feel like the Arbor drift, I feel like, if I can remember, that's like a rockered snowboard. So it's going to be really quick turning, forgiving, easy to press. And the Burton Freestyle bindings are also like a softer binding. So going to be like easy to maneuver, give you that like playful feel, not too rigid. So I feel like that's a really good board binding setup. It'll allow you to do quick turns. It's not going to be very catchy, and should be pretty easy for getting into presses or for those first like snowboard tricks. So great setup, Scott. Awesome, man. All right, so the man of the hour with the $5 super chat says, I have always wondered, are TJ, Chris, and you from the US or Canada? So I'm from Canada. I was born near Toronto, moved out to Whistler in 2003. TJ is American, so he was born in Miami, Florida, went to school in North Carolina, and that's where he learned to snowboard. And that's where his family lives, and then he moved out to Colorado and now to Whistler. But he's full-blown American. And Chris was actually born in New Jersey, but then they moved to England, to Manchester. And he also lived in Belgium, I believe, in Brussels, and then back to England again. And then his family moved out here to BC, Canada. So he's Canadian, American, and English. So a little bit of lots of countries going on there. And Bob wants to know, first time doing rail tips. So your first rail, I recommend, first of all, make sure that you're really good at the boxes. You got a lot of tricks down on boxes and even some down boxes. Your first rail, make sure it's like a mellow, easy ride-on rail. And you can even Make sure the snow is good. It's a good condition in the snow. And for the first rail, you don't have that 100% commit to staying on it. I kind of recommend for your first rail is almost like you're going onto it with the intention of just coming off the side. So if you come off the side, if you get on it a little bit, but then come off the side and ride it out, that's kind of like a good way to test the waters with rails. And then the more that you do that, the more then you'll feel confident with how the rail feels and just committing to actually riding it to the end. So yeah, first couple times, just go on 50-50. And you know, if it's a hop on rail, just hop over it too much so that you come off the other side, but you'll start to get the feel, and then eventually just commit and try to ride it to the end. So I think that's the best way to get your first rail. John Mintel with the super chat says, for trying to go straight and fast, is it better to be completely flat? Okay, I think I've already got this question, but yeah, stay on a bit of an edge. That's always better. All right. Just gonna scroll way down, get caught up on some of these questions. Thanks everyone for dropping some great questions here. If you guys spam the comments with like 100 questions, with 100 of the same questions, I have to put you in timeout, just because it just becomes the same question over and over and over again. So don't ask the same question 100 times. You can ask it a few times, but not like 50 times. That's too many. Zachary with the super chat says, love the channel. Your vids taught my wife and I to snowboard last season. She got me a GoPro Hero 8 this year. What software do you use to make your videos? Awesome, man. Yeah, I'm super stoked that you and your wife got some use out of the videos, and GoPro Hero 8 is a great camera. So I use the Adobe Premiere CC for editing videos, which is not the best editing. Like, it's a great editing program, and I think it's good for like all levels, but you do have to pay for that one. So I think it's like $20 a month. I know there's some pirated copies out there, but yeah, I just pay the $20 a month. The other option, I think like the GoPro comes with editing software as well. So you may want to give that a try. I've never actually used the GoPro editing software, but try it out. And then the first like free editing software that I used and made the first few videos on Snowboard Pro Camp, I believe was Windows Movie Maker. So I don't know if you have a Mac or a PC, but sometimes the free software too is totally fine for making edits. But for me, like, I just learned the basic tools on Adobe Premiere CC, and yeah, I pay that. I think it's like $20 a month. So yeah, it's your choice. If you're going to be making a lot of videos, maybe check out Adobe, learn the basic tools. But if you're looking for, there's lots of free options out there too. All right. Chris has a question about the Japan trip. When is the Japan trip? So we are going to Japan, to Niseko, in the last 2 weeks of January 14th, and then leave Vancouver on the 14th, and then fly back to Vancouver on the 31st of January. Stanley wants to know, hey Kev, I've snowboarded for about 8 times now. How do you overcome the fear of making turns in steeper slopes? Yeah, good question. So the fear with like turning on steep slopes just comes from, not wanting your board to go straight and too fast, because when you get to that steeper slope, it is scary to let your board go down the hill and pick up speed like that. It's pretty scary. So you want to progress up to it by like doing turns and getting good at doing turns on like steeper and steeper terrain, but not going too steep too quickly. So practice your turns on like all kinds of different terrain, and you definitely want to just keep pushing yourself little by little, and that will eventually help you to get to the steepest run in your area. But something that can help you to get to actually do those steep turns is, one thing is, if you take your front hand and like reach forward towards the snow, that will help you to get your weight forward, and you can actually turn faster with your weight forward. So it's kind of scary because moving your weight forward towards the nose of your board makes you go downhill. But if you can commit and you can kind of reach forward, let your board go downhill, you can then turn much faster and get onto that new edge. So something that prevents people from going down steeper runs is like leaning back. So if you're leaning back, it becomes very, very hard to actually let your board go straight down a steep run. So reach down with that front hand, lean forward, and that'll help the turn come around really quick. The other thing that can help you turn quicker and commit to that steep run is, as you're reaching with your front hand to let your board go straight, use your backhand to actually, so if you're going onto your toes, like let your board go straight and then pull that backhand back so that your chest faces the top, and that'll help you to quickly get onto your toes. So commit with the front hands, pull the backhand back, and then commit to getting onto your toes. And yeah, that really helps you to get through those first few turns. But yeah, that's build up to it. Don't try to like do too steep too quickly. If you build up to it, then you can just like step by step do steeper and steeper runs. Mar Fishing with another super chat says, haha, I was asking you, some boards have weird graphics. Got to be careful with the meanings. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I feel like there's no like weird meaning behind this graphic. I feel like there could be. I don't think there's anything weird going on. I hope not, at least. If anyone knows some weird meaning behind the graphic, let me know. But I think it's a pretty safe graphic. Nothing too risque happening on that headspace graphic there. So Care says, I think SP should do an avalanche safety vid plus avalanche safety gear in purpose. Awesome. Yeah, definitely. Check out some of the videos that we did last year at Revelstoke. And so we did do some like an avalanche safety like testing video back when we were in Revelstoke last year. And I guess we haven't really done an in-depth video. It's kind of hard to do like a really in-depth instructional avalanche safety video because you don't want to give the people too much of an illusion that you can just like well, I guess you kind of can, but it's better to like take an avalanche course. So definitely take a course. Yeah, maybe we should do more videos where we're like practicing using our avalanche stuff, and just to give everyone kind of even more of an insight into using all that gear. But we did make one last year in Revelstoke. I think we made another one recently when we went to Chile. It's kind of like a briefly showing us practicing with the Avi gear. But yeah, it is fun. It's fun to use it, and it's fun to make the videos. So we'll get some more videos coming through using all that Avi stuff. And EI Karumba with the super chat says, greetings from Switzerland. I just got me a Burton Flying V a few days ago. It's so playful and perfect to do some tricks and have fun in the snow, but not for high speed. Have a nice Christmas and stay safe on the slopes. Awesome. Thanks so much. Yeah. Stoked on the Burton Flying V. I feel like, yeah, that's my experience on that board too. I had it a few years back. Very playful, quick to turn, fun for tricks, but it's not the most stable board. Sometimes it like turns too quickly. Like I can remember my first time turning it in the trees, the tail like swung around so fast that I kind of like smacked the tail of it on a tree. But yeah, Merry Christmas. I hope you have a good one too. And yeah, be safe out there. Thanks for the support. All right. Tons of great questions, guys. Thank you guys so much. Just gonna scroll down, get caught up a little bit. All right. Oh, wow. So many questions. Okay. Got to get caught up. Mar Fishing with another super chat says, cool, man. Thanks for everything. Yeah. Thanks, Mar Fishing. Thanks for tuning in. All right. So Too Many Fish says, I just bought the Libtech box knife paired with the bent metal transfer bindings. What boots would you recommend with them? Awesome, man. Yeah. Great combo. Love the box knife. I would recommend, like for me, I've been a huge fan of Vans boots. My last 3 pairs have been Vans. They've been very comfortable, very functional. So I would check out and like a good idea too is to like put your feet in boots in the store and make sure they're comfortable. So with my Vans, every time I've gotten a new pair, I always just like walk around the store, keep my feet in them for like a half an hour or more, just to make sure there's no weird pressure points. I'm not getting any weird pain. And, but yeah, so for me, try on some Vans. So the Vans High Standard Pro are probably the softest Vans I've had. So if you like soft boots, check out the High Standard Pros. And then the last 2 pairs I've had have been the Sequels and the Infuse, and both are a bit more mid-flexing, like a 5 or a 6, and they've been more functional. I think a bit more like well-rounded boot. So those are options as well for like sort of like a all mountain style boot. But yeah, check out some Vans. If Vans aren't comfortable for you, if you put your feet in them and you start getting some weird pressure points or foot pains, try out put your feet in other boots and see how they feel. I know TJ's been a big fan of Adidas and also Ride boots. Maybe check out Adidas and Ride. But yeah, for me, I've been hooked on the Vans. So yeah, check them out. And Dylan Day says, quick question. First time back on a board in 9 years, and I've only been a handful of times back in the day, but I've always wondered why we not have both feet strapped in on the chairlift. So you don't have both feet strapped in on the chairlift because it would be really hard to get to the chair with both feet in, and it would also be really hard to get away from the chair with both feet in. So there's lots of times where it's like flat at the tops and bottoms of chairs, and you would just get stuck and people would be bumping into you. And I also think that it's kind of like with both feet on the chair, everyone's boards would be just like jammed up. You almost want to keep your board more straight, and with one foot, it's just more flexible. So I think once you get used to having one foot on the chair, it's pretty mellow and you kind of forget about it, and you can always rest the other part of the board on your foot. So not really a big deal. Awesome. All right, so let's go for a few more questions. Yeah, if you guys are just tuning in, thank you guys. Every Thursday we do a live chat here on Snowboard Pro Camp, just trying to answer as many of your snowboard questions as I can get to. And yeah, here in Whistler, it's we're supposed to get, I think, 25 centimeters tonight. So tomorrow is going to be a pretty crazy day. We've got the first like true winter storms of the year rolling through here in Whistler. I hope you guys are getting some good snow out there too. And yeah, I also picked up a new gyro helmet, and I've actually got a video coming out on that soon as well. So that video should be up tonight or tomorrow morning with some power riding and me talking about the new helmet. So if you guys don't have a helmet, I highly recommend one. Every year I do hit my head at least like once or twice really good, and the helmet always saves me. So definitely check out a helmet. And our friend on the channel, Andreas, too, big props to Andreas. He picked up his first helmet, and yeah, I think it looks good. And he's just like, yeah, he's killing it now. He's super safe out there. So really good to see. And just going to double check, make sure I didn't miss any super chats from everyone. Zach with the super chat from Canada. Thanks for the support, man. It says, hey, Kev, took a fall. Any experience with concussions / whiplash? How long did it take you to recover? How do you know when you're good to go back? Oh, that's scary, man. Zach, sorry to hear that. I hope you're wearing a helmet, dude. But yeah, with a concussion, if you have a concussion, then you should probably check in with your doctor before coming back snowboarding, because concussions can be serious. It's you have a concussion, like some of the symptoms are like you can't remember the incident happening, or you can't remember like what you had for breakfast, or like the things that happened the hours before. Also, like if you're nauseous, that's a concussion symptom, and you don't want to be like you don't want to be like falling asleep and like napping right after a concussion. So make sure you're with like your friends or family and people are like keeping you awake, and that you've been to the hospital to see a doctor. Whiplash is, I've had some whiplash, nothing really severe, but whiplash is like your neck. I feel it mostly in the front is kind of like sore and tender and kind of like tough to move. And so if it's like just mild, some kind of mild whiplash, you should feel better after a few days. I feel like it's like that thing, the next day it feels bad, and then the day after that it feels even worse, and then it starts to feel better after that. But mild whiplash, I feel like you can just ride it out. But if it feels like pretty serious, then you probably want to see a doctor too. But let those things heal up. If it is a serious concussion, make sure you get the doctor's approval before coming back riding. Make sure you have a helmet. And yeah, I think my recovery, I don't think I've ever had a concussion, but with whiplash, it'll take like 3 or 4 days at least to be feeling healthy. So I hope you feel better, Zach. All right, so I'm just gonna check in on the super chats, make sure I didn't miss anything. And Jen with another super chat says, shout out to Ewowd, a former student of mine, ripping hard on his new space case. Ah, very cool, man. Yeah, space case, what a board. Not the finest, but the space case. I guess if you guys are interested in checking out the space case, you can find last year's, or now it's called the finest. But awesome, man. Yeah, Engine, stoked on your students and ripping hard and picking up new boards. That's awesome, dude. Great to hear. And big shout out. Thanks for tuning in every week to all these chats and everything. We got L Stacker Adventures on here. What's up, man? Thanks for tuning in. And Chris Reed, any tips on riding after a knee injury? It's been 2 years, and do you think braces and compression socks are good for helping with strain? Absolutely. Like, I would again just check with your doctor, but I know some of our friends that have had some knee issues in the past. When they go back snowboarding, they wear like some kind of knee brace, so that helps to keep everything a bit more secure. So look into that. But yeah, I would again just like follow what your doctor says. I don't really know exactly all the protocols for coming back to snowboarding after a knee injury, but yeah, just ease back into it, and a knee brace could be a good idea. All right. And Will says, are you ever coming to the U.S. East Coast to snowboard? At the moment, no plans, but it would be really fun to do a trip out to the East Coast. I know that TJ recently was in North Carolina. He was at App Ski Mountain and Beach Mountain in North Carolina there, so it would be really fun to hit up some slopes over there. All right, and Finley Juson says, been checking the cams and snow status about 10 times an hour. Awesome, man. That's what you got to do sometimes. Just keep checking those cameras, looking for the good snow. All right. And Yamaha Rider says, I learned how to ride by myself last year. Thanks for your videos. I'm a big fan. Awesome. Thanks so much for checking out the videos. I'm super stoked that they helped you learn to ride, man. Yeah, keep it up. And Mike Nolan says, are boot sizes true to shoe size? I haven't gotten new boots in a long time. Mine are in good condition. Just thinking about upgrading. I have smaller feet, so shoe fit can be an issue sometimes. I would say normally, so I have size 10 shoes, and my last few snowboard boots have been size 10 as well. and they've been comfortable. But recently I went down a half a size. So I went half a size smaller in my snowboard boots, and they do kind of feel just like I'm riding a pair of boots that are maybe a half a size too small. So, you know, you kind of get different brands have slightly different sizing. So it's hard to get the exact, like, I don't think they'll fit exactly the same across all snowboard boots. And in the past, I've had people recommend me to go to like really small boots, and I don't think that's like the best scenario. The most important thing is that the boots are comfortable. And so I think typically about your shoe size is your boot size, or it could be a half a size, or maybe a half a size smaller. But the best way to know is to put your feet into some boots and feel it out and go from there. All right, cool. Well, thank you guys all for tuning in. If you guys have any more questions, leave them in the comments of the videos. I try to answer as many comments as possible in all the videos across the channel. And yeah, I hope you guys are having some fun out there snowboarding, and you know, there's some good snow coming to where you guys are. Big shout out to everyone for tuning in, and 91 likes. Thank you guys for the likes. The best way, if you guys want to see this channel grow and continue to grow and help out, if you want to help out at all, it'd be awesome if you subscribed, like the videos, and hit the bell beside the subscribe button, because that's a great way to get notified every time I go live or every time I upload a video. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I know everyone out there is stoked on snowboarding, so I appreciate you guys coming on here so we can all chat about snowboarding together. Have fun out there snowboarding, guys. Be safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one soon. Have a good weekend, guys.